Welcome to another episode of the Online Prosperity Experience podcast. You're about to hear your host, Prosper Taravinga's powerful digital marketing strategies and actionable tactics that you can use right now. Prosper has helped more than 50,000 people from over 10 countries to create meaningful businesses that are profitable and enjoyable. Listen to this podcast so that you too can build your own business with less stress and overwhelm. Let's get started.
8 rules for writing high converting call to actions. Now, if you're a coach, consultant, or small to medium business, you understand that selling your services is the name of the game. I mean, you can create a customer avatar, you can go live on Facebook, you can create all the Facebook groups, challenges, and everything else, have the biggest email list and get a lot of people in your sales funnel and provide them with any kind of coaching, consulting, training, information, expertise, or paid speaking gigs that they want. But if you don't know the art and science of how to convert them, then you will not be very successful. Now, obviously, as coaches and consultants, our goal is to be helping our clients solve problems that they might be facing. And along the way, we need to be taking them on a buyer's journey through our own funnels. That way, we can have businesses that are profitable and enjoyable. So this is actually probably one of the most important steps in our online prosperity blueprint. And if you know how to convert prospects into paying customers, then everything else will be like a piece of cake. I can imagine right now you're probably maybe just cold calling potential clients and you're having people hang up in your face. I don't answer any calls, especially when they come from an unknown number. I don't even answer sometimes my wife's calls because maybe I think she just want to have a chat. Babe, I love you, but it's one of those things. A man's got to do what a man's got to do. And you're out there maybe cold calling people and people are hanging up in your face. I mean, they have every reason to, because they're busy, all right? And you're probably interrupting them. And it's a waste of everybody else's time because, by the time they get to know who you are, what it is that you called them for, it's already 5 minutes into the call and they don't even, maybe are not the qualified person to actually, understand what it is that you're going to be asking off of them. And maybe you're sending out hundreds of emails without even getting as much as, hey, thank you so much for reaching out. That's pretty much maybe because there's no value or substance in the content that you're putting out there. Or you're not actually giving people a reason to respond to you. Or maybe you're wasting thousands of dollars on ad spend without generating any qualified leads. Something has to be maybe to do with your call to actions. You're not asking people to go to the next step with you. You're not taking people from where they are, which is usually a social media setup, or which is usually whatever they're doing in their day-to-day life, to bring them to your property or to your website or to your landing page and take them on to the next stage of your funnel or whatever it is that you're going to be doing with them. You see, the one thing about marketing is people don't see a funnel. People don't see, what the stages are behind the scenes. Only you and your team know what you have created for them. So if you're not going to ask people to do business with you, you're not going to ask for the sale, you're not going to ask for the download, you're not going to ask for them to do whatever next step it is that you're asking from them, people would never, go out of their way to try and please you. And that's why sometimes it feels like no one wants to buy what you're selling, because your call to actions are weak. And I know if you rely on your business to pay rent and put food on the table, oh man, it's an enormous strain on your emotions, and maybe you're terrified and having to give up on your dreams, whereas you could actually just tweak the conversions on your landing pages or on your your social media so that you have a call to action that actually converts. Now, maybe I'm just talking out loud what a call to action is, and you might not quite know what it is that I'm talking about. So I want you to think about the time you've probably signed up for a newsletter, you've probably signed up for your insurance, you probably signed up to download an ebook, or signed up for Google or whatever tools that you're using. So if you've ever signed up to download maybe Evernote or Dropbox or the platform that you're listening to this podcast on, Spotify, it might be Apple, or what's the other one? Amazon. Maybe you've even taken maybe a class with some other coach who's you're learning from. Each one of these times and instances or these signups is likely a result of an effective call to action. Now think about it. If you hadn't been drawn in by maybe the copy or the design of that call to action, or you haven't been guided so eloquently through the sign up process, you wouldn't probably have signed up to all the apps that you have in your phone right now, or all the websites that you have in your phone right now. Okay, so it's really important for you to be able to guide your visitors through the buying journey using a strategic call to action. Okay, so let me also define what a call to action is, because some people are just thinking, oh, maybe this is all marketing jargon. But yeah, a call to action, or simplified as a CTA, are usually the buttons or the links that we use on our websites or on our landing pages, or any marketing collateral that we have to guide our users towards a goal conversion. So your conversion might be, you want people to come to a call with you, you want people to download something from your website, or you want people to request information, whatever it is that you want the next step to be, in their buyer's journey with you. That needs to be guided by what we call a call to action. So these call to action buttons are usually everywhere. If you look at the show notes of this podcast, every blue line that is highlighted is actually a call to action for you to click, so you can go through to either a landing page where you can download a resource that speaks more about that particular topic that we'll be talking about. So depending on what your conversions are, or what your goal is, or the style of your website, there's usually a lot of different call to actions that you might use. One of them might be get my free report, or one can be add to cart, or start a free trial, or any download buttons that you have. So as you can see, each call to action has to have a very specific goal to get that web visitor clicking and completing a conversion. Otherwise, it's a useless call to action, if you ask me, if it is not actually converting. All right. So when you call your prospects to take an action and ask them to go on to the next step, that's nothing new. Everybody is doing that. Even your kids give you a call to action. Mom, switch on the telly for me. Mom, put on the password to this phone. Mom or dad, can you put this film for me on Netflix? They're telling you exactly what they want, and they're telling you exactly what to do. All you got to do is do it for them, just so that they complete the transaction or whatever it is that they are asking off of you. So this whole putting call to actions out there is how money is made on the internet. If you're not asking people to go to the next step, people would not go out of their way, just to see what's behind the curtain. So it's been a marketing tactic since advertising was actually invented. Okay, so if you see an ad on TV and it's asking you to pick your phone and call them or whatever it is, that's a call to action. But a lot of ads, just end up being funny and comical, and then they don't necessarily have a call to action. That's wasted money, because what do you want the people to do with that information? Like I always ask you with this podcast, subscribe wherever you're listening to us from, Spotify, Apple, or Amazon. Subscribe so you don't miss out on tactical information like this. Yes, you can get it anywhere else, but let me tell you something. I'm always listening and snitching on my clients, and this is real life information where I, look at people's websites and I'm actually telling them how to actually make more money with less struggle. Okay. So this call was influenced by a client who came today. We had a few call to actions that we added onto their website. And then they're like, oh, I don't want to appear to be too salesy. I don't want to appear to be too desperate. And then I was like, okay, every moment your client is scrolling on their screen, you're not giving them an opportunity to engage with you, and they're not going to go out of their way. So you're missing out on whatever money that you spent to bring that client to your website if you're not going to ask them to take the next step, which is either leave their email address or, download something or give you a call or leave some sort of contact details, which gives you permission to then market to them once they get off their your website. So every great marketing piece should actually prompt prospects to take the next step. If it's not, then it's just a waste of everybody else's time, even if that next step is not to buy your end product or your service, but just what do you want your clients to do after listening to you, after hearing any different information that they didn't have prior to coming to your website. And we all need a little bit of a nudge sometimes. People are busy, all right? People only have like a 3-second attention span. So if you're not going to tell them what to do, they're just going to think, oh, okay, I was just meant to consume this content and be away with my day. And guess what? Not a lot of people want to leave their email address, because they're afraid of spam. So you literally have to sell that click. If you're not going to be selling that click or the next, call to action, then how are people going to engage with you? Okay. So sometimes when you don't have call to actions on your website, people actually hesitate on making a purchase. People actually hesitate on booking that call. They don't know what to do next. You need to tell them, okay? And half of the time they're unsure whom to choose, and they're reluctant to pull the trigger because people don't want to make a mistake. So you want to help them by actually helping them to telling them what the next thing is that you want or you expect from them. Because if you don't do that, hey, a lot of people are indecisive. A lot of people can't make decisions on their own. And in our indecisiveness, you know what people do? They just sit on the fence before picking which side to actually land on. And if there's no call to action, guess what? They just go on and find somebody else who's going to tell them what to do. So even when you're buying stuff yourself as a consumer, you're mostly content with this process because at least it's making you make lesser decisions. So help your customers, not have to make a decision by making it for them and showing them exactly what it is that you need them to do and exactly how you need them to respond. And if all those information and steps and strategies are there, your clients are easy to convince. They like following instructions. So as a business, look at your website. How many times are you asking, for your client's email address? How many times are you asking, stopping to ask your clients to commit to something, instead of just showing up on your website and leaving? And half of the time when people leave your website, chances are they'll never come back again. So it's in your best interest to make sure that you're collecting whatever information that you can from them, even if it's just their email address without their name or whatever. You can then beef up their client file as you go along with them. All right. So as a customer, people are already content with this process, but obviously as a business, you just want your prospects and people that are shopping on your website to become paying customers. How do you then nudge them to go from a suspect or somebody who's just browsing to a person who is actually, paying you money and giving you or handing you over their credit card? So effective call to actions actually provide these nudges along the way because people forget. All right. Nobody is losing sleep on thinking, oh, wait a minute, I was on that website. What was I meant to do? Nobody's doing that. Okay, so if you think people are, losing sleep over what to do next on your website because you haven't given them a call to action, forget and smile, my friend. Okay, So if you put effective call to actions there, it's just giving them a nudge, okay, for them to make a choice. Even if it's a small choice, like I keep repeating, that moves them one step closer to being your client. It's a journey. Remember, it's not just a matter of somebody coming to your website today, looking at all the things, and then immediately picking up the phone and ringing and giving you money. Yes, sometimes it can happen like that, but you're not Amazon, all right? As coaches, consultant, people need to consider your consulting, your training, your information, your expertise. They need to understand that you really understand where they are, what they're doing. You've justified their failures. You literally know who their enemies are, and you've clarified your message. And that takes time, okay? And apparently it takes about 8 touch points, and at every touch point, if you have a call to action that actually converts, guess what? You are one step closer to getting that person to hand you over their credit card. You know what I mean? So with a well-written call to action, we actually move our prospects down the funnel. And like I said, customers do not see a funnel. They just see an experience. They just see an action that they need to take. And then the funnel has to do its work behind the scenes, all right? So without any call to actions, people are just, a lot of your potential clients are stuck in the pipeline. You're not telling them where to go to next. They don't see the whole framework of what you have created behind the scenes, and you already are missing on a lot of opportunities that could have resulted in that person converting into somebody who pays, stays, and refer. So rather than you leaving your prospects wondering what to do next, because if people are made to feel like their intelligence is being insulted, guess what? They're gonna go to some place where they feel like they're being listened to. And the call to action is the highest form of you understanding your customer, because you just want to tell them, I know what you're going through. I know what you need right now. This is just the next thing you gotta do. Click here and all your problems will go. Click here and all your health issues will go away. Click here and you become the richest, the smartest, the most loveliest person in your neighborhood. Click here and all your relationships will fall into place. That's all that they want. They are looking for somebody to hold their hand and show them the road. Okay? So rather than you leaving your prospects wondering what to do next, you want to make sure that you include a high converting call to action in any of your marketing processes. And make sure that these are actually converting. But how do you actually do that? You might be thinking, oh, you know what? I'm an entrepreneur, and marketing is just maybe one aspect of running a successful business. How am I going to know all of these things, and how am I going to understand what my customers are looking for, etc.? At the end of the day, you really need to identify who your target market is. You need to clarify your message. And then this is one question you have to be asking yourself every single time. This is also, the point where it pays to follow through with this podcast, because nuggets like this, I just throw them right in the middle of the podcast, because some people just listen to the front and at the end, and, they're cheating the whole process. You want to ask yourself every single time, what do you want your target market to ask you to do for them? This is a very crucial question, because if you understand what you want your target market to ask you to do for them, that will be what the call to action will be, because that's what they want you to help them with. Okay? And once you understand all of that, it actually makes it super, super easy for you to achieve your real goal of helping your clients. And you now spend as much time as possible changing people's lives and solving people's problems, because they've taken the action that they're supposed to take, from wherever they were, maybe on social media or on Google, and now they are in your maybe podcast, subscriptions. They're now in your email marketing list, or wherever you are helping them by actually helping them and nurturing them until they become a customer. But as you notice, you need to give a clear instruction. Sally is bloated with information. They are just looking for that magic pill. So you need to give clear instructions as to what you want your clients to do next. You don't want to leave your customers' next step up for interpretation, because people have a different way of understanding different concepts, all right? You want to tell them exactly what you want them to do in clear, simple terms. You know more about your business than they do. You just want to make it really, really simple. And an example will be click here for click here to subscribe. Click here to learn more. Click here to download my free report. Click here to sign up or register with us by clicking below, or enter your email address for more information. All of these are action words. You're giving your customer an action to complete. And once you give a mind an action to complete, it's like a dog with a bone. It's going to want to finish it, now it, and actually complete that action. Okay? So you're only doing your customers a favor by giving them a clear call to action, because then you're taking away their need to want to think, or their need to actually apply themselves in the next step. All right. So when you make it easy for people to connect with you, it will be easy for them to do business with you. Okay. So which is yet another point. Make it really easy for people to take on the next step. All right. If there's too many hoops, or if there's too many steps to a process, guess what? People avoid it. All right. Plain and simple. How many times have you avoided, signing up onto a survey that was asking a lot of personal questions? And how many times have you, not completed a form or reading a book or anything else? People are always looking for the path of least resistance. All right. So don't make it difficult. If you just want information to get started with the people, just a simple email address will be important, and will take that customer to the next stage. And then you just keep asking them for more information, up until they then actually want to give you everything, like their credit card number, social security number, how many kids they have, all of that information. Don't ask for it up front. Okay. So if there's too many steps, people avoid it. And this is why, you don't find a lot of IKEA furniture in old people's homes, because it's just, they don't want to go through all those steps of putting it together, and they just want something that's super easy. They'd rather pay a lot of money for furniture that's already fully put together, and they don't want to make any decisions, especially when they think they're gonna make a mistake. Nobody wants to make a mistake. Nobody wants to pay to make a mistake. So you want to make sure that your call to actions are simple. If you have kids around you, ask them to come and read some of your call to actions, especially at grade 3 level. The reason why I'm saying that is because that's the level that a lot of people start learning. So if a grade 3 can understand what you want the call to action to do, guess what? Then that call to action works. Have you noticed that kids, I've got a 3-year-old right now, she can't even write her own name, and she knew how to play around with the phone because the call to actions are super simple, they're visual, and any human or any primal animal can actually follow through. I've seen monkeys scrolling on Instagram and doing actions because the call to action is super simple and visual. Okay, so just make sure everything is simple. People don't want to click through tons of screens or any pop-ups, and they don't want the proverbial jumping through hoops. You know what they want? They just want the carrot without even doing any work. They want to have their cake and eat it too. I don't know if that's the right sentiment there, but you just want to make sure that it's easy for people to do business with you, okay? And just make everything simple. Don't overcomplicate things, because once you complicate things, you are literally wiping out half of the prospects that could come your way. Okay, maybe your prospect just simply needs to enter their email address or click sign me up, and they don't want 500 different pop-ups coming up with different topics or things that you're doing. Especially I see this on a lot of people's websites. If you provide a contact number and say, give us a call for more information, people are much more hesitant to take action. You know why? Because they are being asked to do all the work or half of the work by themselves. Just keep the next step as minimal and as easy as possible. And once you've done that, make sure you are actually encouraging immediate action. And also to reward them, give immediate value. Okay, so it could be like, have you ever been to a bakery and then the baker's yelling, hey, come and get them while the buns are still hot? All right, that's a call to action, because he knows that his product is good while it's saved hot. It's actually giving a clear directive and a call to action that needs to happen. Whether it's for fresh bread or donuts or whatever, cinnamon rolls, the baker actually knows that their product is better sold as soon as it comes out of the oven. That's when you get that aroma and the best smell. And that's still the same idea that works for clients that are looking for health, wealth, or whatever relationships that they come to us for. Okay, you want your customers to respond right away, because there's so many distractions around them. If they don't act now, that's it. They are never going to come back to your website, and you're going to have to pay again if you have paid money to bring them to your site or whatever it is that you do. So you want to don't give them an option to wait around and think about it, because nobody has that time. Everybody's busy, all right? And if they are not ready to make a full purchase, provide them with an option to maybe take some lesser action of putting their email address so that they would be informed when a special comes through. I'm part of a mailing list of accountants, lawyers, or whatever it is. I just want to see what information they're sending out to their clients there. And some of the emails that they send out do not even have a call to action. What do you want the customer to do after they've received their information? Do you want them to just sit and be like, all right, yeah, that's lovely, yeah, and then what? You know what I mean? Nobody has time to know about your stories or anything else that you're going through. Give people something to do. You know what I mean? They could subscribe to your email list. They could download a free PDF or whatever tricks of the trade that you might give them, and try and start educating people on what it is that you do best, and give them a reason to respond now. You have 3 seconds of their attention, and that's all you have. Otherwise, that person is going to go away. All right. So you want to use phrases like respond today, click now, right away, to prompt them to immediately act, which is why you have to immediately subscribe to this podcast, because information like this, my friend, people are paying thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, and they're still not even getting as far as we've gone in the, in the 28 minutes we've been together, right? And I really appreciate that. So this is why you need to subscribe to this podcast, so you don't miss out on any of this explosive, content, which actually helps you create a business that's profitable and enjoyable. And guess what? When people have clicked on your call to actions, deliver. All right? Deliver. And if you say they're going to get a PDF by entering their email, do it right away. Wait no minutes or whatever it is. Send it automatically. And, as soon as somebody pays, or as soon as somebody gives you their email address, any second that goes past and they haven't received that information, you are eating into your authority. You're eating into your credibility. The trust is dwindling, and you are on a timer. So you want to make sure that your autoresponder responds immediately, all right? And once you've done that, half of the time, just depending on where the client is or the customer is on your buyer's journey, you don't want to force them to do things before they're ready. All right. I've got kids, and I was reading to them the story of Goldilocks. When Goldilocks went into the room, she ended up just reverting to the bed, the drink, and the porridge of the baby bear. You know why? Because it was just right. It wasn't too hot, it wasn't too hot, it wasn't too sweet or whatever it is. It was just perfect. So you should understand where in the buyer's journey is your prospect right now, so that you give them the right intensity for the call to action. Because if you if you peak too early, people will be like, oh, wait a minute, you scare people away. You know what I mean? So just think of Goldilocks when you're considering the intensity of your call to action. Not too strong, not too weak, just right for where the customer is on their journey. And a call to action that blocks your whole entire website until somebody subscribes. It's like holding your customers or prospects hostage. You know what I mean? They're just going to walk away from that and never come back again. Or a call to action that blends into the sidebar and offers something like, hey, check out some of our locations, or get my free report. It won't maybe do as much. So you want to find the middle ground. Maybe halfway through reading, or maybe through a pop-up. Like I gave you a call to action right at the middle of this podcast. That was a Goldilocks moment, all right? It just needs to be enough to get the customer to go through to the next level, because we only get paid in direct proportion to the value that we've given to the marketplace. So depending on how new the person is in your space, you want to just give it a bit of a Goldilocks. Not too hard, not too harsh, not too intense, not too early, not too late. Goldilocks. Okay, so if you'd like help taking advantage of your call to actions and really using them to convert your customers into people that pay, stay, and refer, I recommend you to, schedule a call with me. That's a call to action. Schedule a call with me, all right? And then once we do that, we'll work hands-on so that we can develop a strategic plan and then deep dive and work through, your client clarity, what call to actions you want to do, the buyer's journey, and then put strategic messaging along the way to ensure that you are giving the right kind of information at the right time and the right call to action, so you're not leaving your customers hanging. And then we'll look at your consulting offers, your fees, your pricing, and your overall business model optimization. Once we've got all of that in place, I'll just then help you set up your marketing engine and lead generation system so you can consistently attract ideal clients and convert them. You know why? Because now you have the best call to actions that money can buy. And once you can convert people into customers that pay, stay, and refer, you, my friend, will have a business that's profitable and enjoyable. I can't wait to see what you're going to do with this information. And the call to action at the end of this call is for you to join our community. Do just that. Bye for now.
Thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, let's continue the conversation in the Live Long Digital community. Become a Live Long Digital community member today. This community is for ambitious entrepreneurs and small business owners with the drive to take control of the future of their businesses and achieve huge success without stress and overwhelm. As you heard, Prosper can help you by teaching you marketing strategies that work. So look no further than the Live Long Digital community of entrepreneurs and highly successful business owners. Join our community today. Find us on www.community.livelongdigital.com.au. Network with other driven entrepreneurs and find the expert guidance you need to take your business to the next level. www.community.livelongdigital.com.au